Welcome to everybody for joining us in the latest installment of the Sigmund Y School of Business virtual speaker series. My name's Matt Rosu. I'm Dean of the Sigmund Y School of Business. I want to send a big welcome to everybody who's attending, students, faculty, prospective students, alumni, and friends of the institution. We're in for a great talk tonight and doing things a little bit different, kind of excited, but I'll get to that in just a moment. Before we get started, I do want to just kind of let everybody know this is part of a series of talks we have throughout the semester. The next talk is Mary Ciani, who's a Board of Trustees member at Susquehanna University and has had an illustrious career dealing many different HR issues, should be a fantastic talk. The title of her talk is Monday at 7 p.m., The Manager's Role in Creating an Inclusive Culture. So hopefully you can join us for that as well. And as I mentioned, we're doing something a little bit different tonight. After I introduce our student host for the evening, I'm going to be going over to the attendee side of things. You won't see me on the screen. And Scott Misson will be leading for us tonight. So I want to give a brief introduction to Scott, and he's going to be introducing our illustrious guest for the evening. But Scott's a senior finance major who has had a kind of a fantastic career at Susquehanna, and I think has really taken advantage of many of the opportunities that Susquehanna University provides. Member of the soccer team, studied in Chester, England, which that was last spring. So of course, everybody had to come home early for Chester. And we set things up when you go to Chester, England, you get an internship while you're in England, right? I mean, that's one of the things we provide. If you come to study with us, you can get an internship in a different country. Well, they liked Scott so much, they insisted he keeps working for them remotely, which he did. So he did complete an internship with Image in Pay, a UK-based company, after he came home a little bit early. Thankfully, did get a couple months over in England before COVID shut the world down. And I can't say, I heard something else incredibly exciting earlier, but we're not really allowed to say, but excited about all that Scott's going to be doing after graduation as well. And so with that, before I go to attendee mode, thank you, Scott, for hosting. Thank you, Nick, for taking time to talk to our students. I'm going to change myself over to attendee mode, and Scott's going to take it over from here. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to the presentation.
Thank you, Dean Rosu. Good evening, everyone. As Dean Rosu said, I'm Scott Misson. I'm a current senior in Professor Max Mang's marketing class here at Susquehanna University. I've been asked to host this evening's webinar and introduce our guest speaker, whom we're all extremely excited to hear from. But before I do, we would like to thank both Dean Rosu and Dr. Emma Fleck, Chair of the Marketing Department, for allowing us the opportunity to hold this event and invite the public. We would also like to thank Professor Mang for coordinating this event for us. It's my honor to introduce to you Mr. Nick Topel, our guest speaker. Mr. Topel is an American fitness model, entrepreneur, professionally endorsed athlete, and social media influencer who reaches more than 7 million people on a monthly basis. In 2019, Mr. Topel claimed a top 10 spot on Fit Media Channel's World's Hottest Physiques and has since appeared on Fox Television, Bravo TV, and more than 15 magazine covers. Nick is also an expert wellness consultant and frequently contributes to top publications such as Pop Sugar, Business Insider, and Well and Good, where his engineering background influences a data-driven approach to physical transformation and wellness. Many of us who are gym goers are familiar with Mr. Topel since he is featured in Fit Media Channel's 3-part Model Body workout series. He is a sponsored athlete of Bioengineering, Supplements, and Nutrition, otherwise known as BSN, who makes popular products such as Synthesix and No Explode. Everyone, please welcome Mr. Nick Topel.
Hey, Scott. Thanks for that really warm introduction, and thank you to the Dean and Professor Mang for having me. Unfortunately, I'm not that cool. I'm not as cool as I sound on paper. I'm just a normal guy, kind of living his life on the internet. But I think I've accumulated some interesting experiences and perspectives that I want to share with you guys today. that kind of hopefully gives you a little bit more insight on the social media space and fitness and how kind of everything is connected. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started with this presentation here. Oh, sorry. One moment. There we go. It's changed since I've last used this. But yeah, so I'm going to present to you guys on the interconnectedness of fitness and social media and kind of my perspectives and comments on the market and some brand building strategies. So before I kind of get into the meat and the bones of things, I'll just give you a quick introduction about myself. So I'm 27 years old. I was born and raised in this small town in Ohio, Findlay, Ohio. And I don't have a marketing degree, but I do have a degree from the Ohio State University in mechanical engineering. So I went to Ohio State for 5 years, studied mechanical engineering, and I have a minor in computer science. And I had specific focuses in advanced system thermodynamics. So for all intents and purposes, I'm pretty much a nerd. I'm a super dork. And I've been able to kind of parlay that into a pretty successful fitness career, which I'm going to talk to you guys about. So I graduated college and I went to work in the petroleum industry for 2 years. I was an integrity analyst. And so myself and 3 other guys more or less kind of managed the entire pipeline integrity program on the East Coast of the United States. And while that career was kind of getting up and started, I was my fitness career was also blossoming. So I got my pro card in bodybuilding. I started doing a lot of fitness modeling, and I was getting calls to be, hey Nick, can you be in LA tomorrow for this music video? Or hey Nick, can we bring you out to New York for the shoot? Or can you be in Miami this weekend? And it put a strain on kind of my work-life balance, and it was difficult to manage the opportunities. And eventually got to a point where I was my capacity to grow with this really strong personal endeavor, this fitness career was kind of limited. And so I just decided to go all out on it and give it a shot and kind of gamble on myself. So I was able to parlay all of my my engineering skills, the skills that I'd sharpened, the thought processes, and analytical problem solving things, being data driven. I was able to take that and from my engineering career and apply it to the fitness space. And it turns out not a lot of people are doing that. So it's made me pretty successful in that regard. And I coach a lot of people. I threw in a fitness consigliere here. My clients call me that occasionally. I think it's a fun joke, but yeah. So I consult with a lot of health and wellness clients. I run some personal brands, do a lot of fitness modeling. You also mentioned it. I'm a wellness consultant and contributor to some publications like Pop Sugar and Well Plus Good, and they enjoy having me write just because I'm so data driven. I apply a lot of my analytical, engineering technical background to health and wellness. Really, the body is just a thermodynamic system that can be optimized just like anything else. So that's kind of the approach that I've taken. So moving into just a quick outline, what I want to talk to you guys today about. Just want to highlight a number of kind of brief topics, and I know we want to save a lot of time for questions at the end. So I kind of intend to really just touch on a lot of these, and anything that piques the interest, we can circle back and answer some questions on them. So emerging trends in COVID-19 in the fitness industry. And then I'll talk a little bit about supplement companies, social media marketing, and then move into more of my personal endeavors, businesses that I work on, the Model Trainers, Quarter Inch Club. And then I want to discuss with you guys this phenomenon called social media that's kind of taking the world by storm. So what are we seeing right now across the world, particularly in the United States, which is the market that I work in, with emerging trends and result of the pandemic? We're seeing a really big shift towards lifestyle wellness. I think, and we've already seen it, and I think when COVID is kind of behind us, it's definitely going to be the next hottest thing, because COVID has really forced people to kind of wake up and start taking their health and wellness a little bit more seriously. And historically, the United States kind of has this reputation for having, this really obese, out of shape population, and then this super fit community, the best bodybuilders in the world, but not a whole lot in the middle compared to, if you've ever been to Europe, they just kind of have an elevated lifestyle factor, if you will. They're not as focused or as obsessed with going to the gym and working out. They walk a lot. They're active during the day. They avoid, a lot of processed and refined sugars and foods. And so I think we're seeing a reversion to the mean here in the United States of people just being a little bit more cognizant of elevating their lifestyle wellness factor. And in terms of the specific, fitness community, what's making money, what are people doing right now? We've seen a lot of at-home workout programs and equipment. That space is absolutely blown up, obviously, during COVID. So you've got popular at-home workout machines like Peloton and Climber, and I don't think that's going to be going anywhere anytime soon. Those things are here to stay, and we've basically taught people how to exercise and work out at home. And particularly, along with this shift towards this lifestyle wellness, there's a lot of marketing to busy professionals. How can you stay in shape? How can you exercise? How can you eat right when you're doing everything else, in your life? It doesn't have to be an inconvenience for you to be healthy. And with what I do, a lot of wellness coaching and online training, you're seeing a lot of trainers do at-home Zoom workouts. They've become very popular. And myself in particular, my company, we host corporate training classes 5 nights a week. It's been a great source of income for us. So in summary, there's just been this massive shift to lifestyle wellness. How do you stay fit and healthy at home? So moving on to supplement companies and social media marketing, companies are quickly waking up to the power of social media, particularly in the COVID-19 era, if you will, where everybody's at home on their phones, watching what's on TV or on their computer. Social media is an extremely powerful tool. And when it comes to supplement companies and what's hot and what's not right now, there's kind of this argument between taste versus performance. Who wins? I'd say in a lot of cases, I'm not going to cite anything concrete or tell you X brand is doing this and X brand is doing that, but I can tell you that taste very often competes with performance for the number one factor for a client or a prospective customer to go out and buy a supplement. And I think that's really reflective of this shift towards the lifestyle wellness factor that we're seeing in the United States. And how are brands leveraging social media? Well, there's obviously a lot of brands, they're creating their own Instagram pages and social media platforms, and they also employ the social media team. So you have your athletes and your ambassadors. And the distinction I make there is the athletes are going to be a lot closer to the brand. These are your long-term social media promoters, the people who authentically live and breathe the brand and use the products all the time. The picture perfect image of their exact marketing plan, if you will. And then to a lesser degree, you have these ambassadors, so to speak. And these are shorter term contracts where the company may hire so-and-so to just promote the product and leverage their social media following. And it may be as simple as a one post promotion or a short, like 3-month contract. And behind the scenes, you'll see a lot of these teams focusing on hero products, so to speak, where they're maybe kind of all coordinating to push one product that the company's selling for that month. And on the right side here, I just have a quick, I think an interesting graphic that illustrates this really well when I say companies are quickly waking up to the power of social media. So I have a screenshot here from one of my post analytics on Instagram. This one got almost 40,000 likes and reached over 211,000 people with a single post. And I'm sponsored by BSN Supplements. I'm on their athlete team. And if you think about that, if you actually look at the BSN Instagram, they only have 200,000, 220,000 followers. So you can start to see the weight or the value that you have with these influencers. If I can put up a post that reaches the entire, size of the following of BSN, that's really powerful. And if you've contracted me to continue promoting and talking about the products to my audience, you can make some real sales here. So I want to transition into one of my personal brands now. It's Model Trainers. I'm a co-owner of this company, and it's something that we've been working on really hard for the past 5 or 6 years. So who are the Model Trainers? We are a group of pro fitness models, athletes, personal trainers, nutritionists who lead by example. And specifically, we all have pretty large social media followings. And so the brand lives online, and we're able to leverage this, this image or this lifestyle that we lead in order to make sales and create a brand, so to speak. And one of the driving principles that we focus on is, the person coaching you, the person training you, the person inspiring you to lead a healthier lifestyle, they should be doing it too. And coming from the professional space, pro fitness models, pro bodybuilders, pro athletes, I do this every day, right? It's part of my lifestyle. I know how to make it work with everything else that I'm going on. And the value proposition that we give to the customer is, we're going to teach you how to learn how to enjoy the fitness lifestyle and all the benefits that come with it. So for a lot of these clients, I'm not just selling you a workout program or diet program. I'm selling you the ability to live your dream, to start to experience all the things that come with having, being fit and healthy. And our target demographic here is primarily men age 18 to 35. However, we do have a number of female clients, which is very interesting. And we're actually brought on some female trainers, and we're trying to expand our female presence as well to kind of reach a new target audience. And over on the right side here, I just have a quick highlight. I want to show you, just talk briefly about the product value ladder that we have at Model Trainers. These are subject to change, but generally speaking, we offer various types of free content. So that could be anything from our frequent Instagram lives, where we just get on in the evenings and talk about interesting topics. We provide health and wellness tips and advice and things like that on our Instagram, and basically just answer DMs and shoot the breeze and help people out. Once you're kind of in the pipeline, the first entry product that we can offer you is a $9.99 at-home training guide. And really, we're just kind of giving you the basics of how to start exercising at home. Super low budget, entry-level product. Once you've seen great results from that, we try to get you to graduate to our bread and butter, which is the Evolve program. And we kind of market this as, again, a lifestyle blueprint. Back to this whole lifestyle wellness factor thing. We're teaching people, basically we're imparting the ways, all the strategies and things that we've developed in our professional careers, and teaching you how to do it and integrate it into your lifestyle for a sustainable diet and training program. In addition to the Evolve program, this is an evergreen product that you buy digitally, and I wrote it once and we don't have to worry about it again. It's about 90 pages of content, 4 hours of video instruction, and we also link you up to our online coaching app on the phone for like maximum functionality. We also have an upsell to that program, which is a cardio and abs upsell. So we parse out the cardio and abs workout programs and information, which is a really organic upsell to the 3-day-a-week Evolve program. And the idea there is, once you see great results, just reading from a program that had no trainer interaction, you graduate to this coaching program where we'll actually work with you in a one-on-one setting, help you understand your diet, what your needs are, and program a completely customized training and diet program to help you reach your goals. So we have 2 levels to that. We have our basic one-on-one online coaching, $497 a month. And then we also graduate to an executive platinum coaching, which is about $1,500 plus per month. Depends on a few things, what features you're looking in your program. And that's kind of the ultimate product that we want you to get to. And the way that we kind of have that stratified is so we can reach a diverse range of customers, because we have executive level clients, and we have, just some normal college guys who just want to spend a few bucks to figure out how to just do it better. Here's just some cool branding that we've developed for a few of the marketing campaigns. I mentioned we have an online coaching app, so we can coach you directly from your phone. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty integrated. Not a lot of people are doing this right now. And so it's definitely given us an edge. Now, as it relates to model trainers, I want to talk about how do we leverage social media. Probably as you would imagine, we have scheduled posts. So we're posting 1 to 2 times per day. We also offer frequent Instagram stories and engaging polls to help understand what our customers are looking for. And so if you're familiar with Instagram story, you can do yes or no polls, or have them vote on anything. And really what it is, it's a qualifying factor for me to follow up with you as a lead to hopefully convert you to a client. And the other premise behind model trainers is we're all kind of separate fitness personalities. So we take our personal traffic and try to feed it back to the company page. So I'll do frequent shout outs and tags on my own Instagram. And I think it's important to note here, brand obstacles, things that we've struggled a little bit with. Merging our personal brands into a company brand has been very difficult, and it's been probably our number one obstacle, at least when we're getting started. So what ends up happening is you have these followers, somebody who, follows Nick Topel. Oh, he inspires me to lead a healthier lifestyle. I want his workout program. I want his diet program. Well, if I send you to the model trainers, you still want to work with me. You don't want to work with the model trainers team. And so we've been addressing that and tried to reposition our branding a little bit and show more group photos like we have here on the left, and talk about us more as like a holistic entity than like one personality being the brand. And we've made some tremendous progress on that, and it's really picking up well. And the other thing that we struggle with is converting the audience from fans/admirers to paying customers. So, we're fitness models. A lot of our following comes from people just, who admire the hard work and a good photo. And so we've had to get creative in terms of how do we target these people, and how do we convert them to basically a paying customer. So that's just a brief recap on model trainers, which brings me to a next project that I've worked on, is the Quarter Inch Club. This is a really cool concept. It's a joint venture with Lifting Labs, which is a company that provides or manufactures physical wellness products, specifically these occlusion blood flow restriction bands. They're really fascinating if you ever Google them. But the entire premise of the Quarter Inch Club is how do you get bigger arms? So it turns out that how to get bigger arms is one of the most popular search terms in the fitness space. And so whereas Model Trainers is a holistic, full service online health and wellness company, we're going to coach you, we're going to train you. The Quarter Inch Club is designed to address a very specific problem in the market. And so what's the Quarter Inch Challenge? Well, we're going to teach you, the challenge is to add a 1/4 inch of size onto your arms in 60 days. And a fitness model is going to take you through the whole thing. Myself being the point man for this project, I'm going to teach you how to train just like a fitness model would if I had to change my body for a shoot or a show or something like that. And here's just some cool marketing materials that we have on the side here. They've priced it at $59.97, and it's a pretty interesting product. And the other thing too, I want to mention on this is who's the target market. Again, it's men age 18 to 35 approximately, specifically men who are insecure or perhaps a little bit frustrated with the lack of progress that they've made on their arms. So you're hitting a really deep pain point with this project. So the messaging is extremely focused, versus Model Trainer is a little bit more broad speaking, just, an full service health and wellness company. And here's just another cool graphic showing how the products are laid out online. It's a course that you follow through. So I'm gonna move into the world of Instagram and the social media phenomenon. So social media is such an interesting discussion, or opens up such an interesting discussion on the social experience of life. Of human existence, so to speak, because when you're online, it really gives you the ability to be anybody that you want to be and say anything you want to anybody with, relatively speaking, no repercussions. That's really powerful. And on the flip side of that argument, social media is extremely unique in the fact that it allows you to be a fly on the wall in almost anybody's life. So if you wanted to, you could go see what Taylor Swift had for breakfast this morning, or see where The Rock is training or what he's up to today. And that's really powerful, because you can be friends with Taylor Swift. She doesn't know who you are, but you follow her and you like her photos. You can actually send her a message. You can comment on her photos, and there's a possibility that she may respond to you. And that's really powerful, because up until recently, you haven't really been able to get the consumer so close to the brand. I mean, literally just one point of contact away. And for many careers, Instagram is your living portfolio. Mine in particular, right? Fitness modeling is one of the careers that I work on. Anybody who wants to hire me for a job, they're going to flip onto my Instagram and see how I look, and how do people respond to my image, and what kind of shots do I do, and what sells well. And it's so fascinating. A lot of the best modeling agencies in the world, I'm talking Wilhelmina in New York City, Ford Models, they all have, so you can go on their website, look at the models that they offer, their portfolio if you're trying to find somebody for a job. Every single model has their Instagram listed with a direct link to their page and tells you how many followers they have. That's how influential it is. And early on in my career, I'm not going to name any names, but I will say that when I was kind of getting started, I was trying to get on the cover of this major fitness magazine. And I was pretty much told that you're not even in the conversation. We're not even going to consider working with you unless you have 200,000 followers on Instagram. It's mind blowing how powerful this stuff is. And with social media, you own the audience. You don't have to pay to access it. You can talk to your people any time of the day. You don't have to run Facebook ads to find these people. And all of these people, every single person following you has chosen to follow you for a specific reason. That's really powerful. And it's really just, it's this giant blank, if you think about it like a blank billboard on the side of the highway that's open for advertising, and you own that space. You don't have to pay rent on it, and people can come and buy it from you for a short period of time. I do want to mention TikTok. TikTok is growing. It's growing like wildfire. Currently, all roads lead back to Instagram, and that's probably a deeper discussion. But the metrics that I've seen, I'm sure this won't age well, but the conversion that I've seen, that I've heard and speaking with people, it's about a 10-to-1 TikTok to Instagram conversion ratio. So if you have about 1 million followers on TikTok, roughly equivalent to about 100,000 followers on Instagram. So building an audience, right? And this, I have a personal brand, so I'm just speaking to strategies in terms of personal brand growth. The number one thing that I recommend is you have to identify what your audience likes and just keep giving it to them. Just send it to them over and over and over again. And there's an interesting case study. Gerardo Gabriel, I don't know if anybody on the call knows who he is, but he took this to the extreme. He gained over 1 million followers on Instagram by pretty much just showing the same photo of his abs or the same angle of his abs in different settings. He figured out that for whatever reason, the people following him, that's what they love to see. So he just kept giving it to them, and it grows like wildfire because eventually you filter this audience. You have this highly concentrated audience. You know exactly who they are. For me, what is my audience like? I'm kind of a unique fish in the fitness industry, right? I do a lot of other things besides just lift weights. My audience, they like to see me with my shirt off, and I kind of have this goofy, quirky smile that for whatever reason people really like. And I'm a total dork. I'm a nerd. I'm an engineer. I play with the Rubik's Cube, and I do weird stuff. And so that's really what my audience likes. So I just try to continuously show that side of myself to them. In terms of posting strategies, I want to break this down here. Talk about posting strategies and growth strategies. For posting strategies, you need to stay consistently present. And that's feed posts anywhere from 1 to 2 times a day is best for growth, but it's going to hamper your engagement. Really, because if you have a good post up on your page, you want to let it simmer for a while. So Instagram kind of finds more traffic to send your way to check it out. When you post another photo, it kind of turns off the engagement on that photo and then resets it on the next one. So if you're posting twice a day, you don't have a really wide window to accumulate engagement. For me, posting every day or every other day is the perfect sweet spot for me. Another tip, you want to use portrait mode. Taller photo takes up more real estate on the page. So you're basically forcing people to look at your stuff longer. And bright colors invoke an emotional response, particularly blue does really well on social media. So if you think about photos on the beach or photos, hiking with a beautiful blue sky, that's what I'm talking about. And you want to post at the right times. This is so important. It's probably the most important part. It's important to understand who your audience is, right? Where's your audience from when they're following you? Because and I'll flip over to this in the growth strategies. I'll explain a little bit more. You want to be posting when people are looking at their phones. And the way I always advise people is, on a normal day, when would a normal person be looking at their phone? And so for me, that's about 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. during the weekdays because it catches the Los Angeles crowd during rush hour at the end of workday. East Coast, New York City, everybody's just kind of laying down, winding down for the day, maybe sitting down for dinner, flip open your phone. And then you also catch the London crowd too, all those late night owls, people. I mean, I'm sure everybody does it here. You check out your phone before you go to bed. And the idea is you want to be present when everybody is looking at their phones. So it triggers a tremendous amount of engagement in that first hour. So moving over to growth strategies, keep it real. I know that sounds obvious, but humans are really smart. They can tell when you're being disingenuous or you don't believe in a product or you're forcing something or it's contrived. And they gravitate towards genuineness. If you think about like all of your favorite fitness inspos and people that you follow on Instagram, they all have something really unique about their personality, something that's magnetic that attracts people. You want to encourage engagement and interaction with curious captions or comments. You can ask a question or ask people to give their opinion in the comment section or post a funny photo that makes people send it to a friend. Anything that triggers more engagement is good for growth on your page. Engage heavily in the first hour. That's the most critical time to launch your post into exponential growth and for Instagram to just to show it to everybody. And so if you engage in the first hour and you're also posting at a time when everybody's on their phone, that's a recipe for success. So where do companies get it wrong when it comes to social media? Social media is really a wild west of sorts in that it's new, and a lot of the people doing, in charge of marketing at a lot of these big companies, they didn't study it in school. They don't necessarily understand how it works with influencers and understanding the reach and all the demographics and things. And the big thing that I see people do is they don't look under the hood. So the audience match is extremely important for lead conversion. So just because you have 1 million followers does not necessarily mean that you're going to be the best person to promote the product. So for instance, if you have this beautiful woman has 1 million followers on Instagram, she has an 80% of her following is men. Well, she's probably not going to be the best person to sell women's skincare products, right? So lack of attention to details with these things, I see a lot. People just want to hire influencers because they have a massive following. It doesn't always work like that. And it turns out this micro influencer sweet spot is really the people who get most of the best brand deals consistently, at 30 to 80,000 followers on Instagram, because they definitely have influence, but they're not so big where they seem unreachable, so to speak. So people feel like they're being organic when they're selling a product to them. Using macro influencers as geographic micro influencers is another big one. So taking somebody with a massive page and having them try to promote something locally versus trying to use that audience and leverage more of like a digital product that anyone in the world can buy. That's a big one that I see. And then forcing contracts that downgrade the influencers. So a lot of companies want these static feed posts, which is definitely beneficial, right? I mean, there needs to be a balance here, but they're not having the discussion with the influencer to see what sells best on their page. Instagram stories particularly do really well because they exude authenticity, and they also offer the utility to send, to redirect your audience outside of Instagram with like a direct swipe up link. And you don't get that with an Instagram post. The best influencers are really the people who grew up with this stuff and they built their audience one person at a time. They know exactly what to say to them, how to say it, and when to say it to make sales. And you should ask them, if you're trying to make a brand deal with these guys, you say, hey, you've got a massive following. What's the best way to sell this product to your audience? And I don't see a lot of that happening. A lot of brands will kind of show up with a contract. Hey, we want 2 posts and this, and just go do it. And it's up to the influencer to make it work. And generally, most of the time it's going to be okay, but you're downgrading the full potential of the influencer that you're working with. And engagement ratio is really the golden metric for promotion. And currently industry standards anywhere from about 3 to 4%. On a good week for me, I get anywhere from 10 to 12% engagement. Which means that I would be a valuable influencer to a lot of brands. And I even have some friends who have just massive crazy followings that get anywhere from 30 to 40% engagement. They may have 600 to 700,000 followers. So it really just depends on how you've built your audience and what you're trying to sell. So what are the numbers? I'm a data guy. I'm an engineer. I like to see the numbers on paper. What are people making with this kind of stuff? And, what kind of budgets are we looking at? I'd say the most common are trades. So I'll send you this product to basically tell everybody that you use it, and we'll call it even. That's the most common. And I'd say you see a lot of that more so on the micro influencer level. When you get to kind of these macro influencers, they want the product plus money. And I provided some sample rates for you guys, which I think is interesting. Just to kind of give you an idea, a good influencer, it's really a wild west of sorts. It depends on what your influence is, what the budget is, and a number of different factors. But if you're pretty good at what you do, anywhere from like $2,500 in that range is good for one feed post. And a lot of times they'll structure these deals and say, I want you to do 2 feed posts or a swipe post plus a story. And so you can just kind of see how you might break that down on a contract. And really anything goes. You can sell anything. I've done sponsored posts or Instagram lives where I wear a specific shirt and I get paid to wear the shirt. TikTok, anywhere from 1 to 2 million followers, is going to equate to roughly $600 per post. Again, it depends on who's paying you and what your reach is, but just a good ballpark number. And I do want to say I can't speak directly, or I can't give you any details about the contract that I have with BSN, but I can tell you that I have some friends who have $40,000 to $60,000 annual supplement contracts where they get paid to just talk about the supplements that they use a couple times a month. So you can see that the growth potential here, or the capacity to make income, is really interesting. And you think about what do you have to, just 10 seconds, talk about the products that you're using a couple times a month to make a, 40 to 60K per year. That's a really good deal. So the real estate that you own, that organic audience, is so powerful. And I also threw this in here because I think it's very interesting. There are some people who make anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 plus for a single post giveaway hosted by these mega influencers, celebrities. So if you were to hire somebody like Kim Kardashian to get on her Instagram and say, hey, I'm giving away $2,000, go follow all of these people. If you have 50 people on that list who all paid $3,000 to be in the giveaway, that's 150 grand in the pot, and she gets a massive cut of that. So it's the numbers are really fascinating from perspective in terms of how much you can earn. And I just want to talk real briefly about my social media. So I do everything myself organically. I'm the only one with my password. Nothing goes on my page unless I put it there. I answer all my comments. It's all me. However, behind the scenes, I do work with a publicist, Juliana Martins, with 1111 Media Agency. She's done a really great job for me. She just helps me get coordinated and featured in publications and help expand my reach outside of Instagram. And I also have a talent agency that I just signed with, and a social growth consultant, Conscious 24. So they help me get into giveaways and things. And in terms of brand deals, anything under the sun that has to do with health and wellness. So supplements, skincare, swimsuits, gym memberships. I've even worked out some deals with my apartment complex for like free rent to promote for them. So really anything goes. It's all about peddling influence. And my followings, but right now it's about 85% men. So I'm speaking to a highly concentrated audience. And I believe it's everything I've got, guys. So thanks for bearing with me. I'm really passionate about this stuff. And so hopefully I was able to give you some interesting perspectives on things. And I would be remiss as a social media influencer if I didn't tell you, if you have any interest in going to buy supplements, you should totally go to gobsn.com and use my discount code Topel15, give you a 20% discount and give me a little bit kickback too. So I think with that, Scott, that was a mouthful. I'll throw it back to you. I know you got some questions.
Thank you, Nick, for that lovely presentation. So the first question that we have is, by the way, for the audience, please use the chat feature or the Q&A feature to relay that to me, and I will then forward the questions to Nick. The first question that we have is, what analytics tools do you use personally to measure your effectiveness as a social media influencer? Is it impressions or is it more sales-based?
I think it's a combination of both. I can tell you, I don't use any type of external, in terms of tracking my analytics, I don't use any type of external software. The stuff that Instagram provides is, I mean, it's, you know, straight to the source. It's connected to Facebook, so you can get some more interesting like audience breakdowns and demographics and who lives where. I would say it's a combination of both. Um, just broad reach and impressions plus direct sales. Anytime you can make a direct sale, that's the A+ setup. But a lot of times you're peddling influence, right? You're just reminding somebody or introducing somebody to a product and kind of keeping it fresh in their mind. So it's a combination of both. I always, like I say, anytime you can make direct sales, that's great. But also just owning real estate on a broad billboard on the side of the highway is very important too.
As an influencer, it's very difficult to really start from the ground up. I mean, everyone starts with that 1,000 base followers, and then as you just showed, you have over 215,000 followers. How did you brand yourself to that extent where you gained over 200,000 followers?
Yeah, great question. And it evolves over time. Your strategies evolve. You refine your messaging. I was talking about earlier the growth in the posting strategies. Once you understand really kind of your brand and what people enjoy or what people want to see from you, it gets a lot easier because you can just keep hitting them with that, and you know they're going to engage. And engagement was what drives your growth. And I will say that it's exponential. So you know, I think I probably gained 1,000 followers this week, you know, in 3 days. 2 years ago, that would have taken maybe 3 months. So you have momentum, and when you start refining your messaging, it becomes a lot easier. And one thing that I figured out, obviously, you have to stay present. So when you stay present, you remind people that you exist, and they engage more with your posts. Another strategy I didn't talk about, but I'm glad you asked about it, is cross promotion with similar audiences. So for instance, if I'm you know, a male fitness model, it would be in my best interest to go collaborate with another male fitness model with a large Instagram following, because you know that everybody following this guy probably has interest in following you. They just don't know about you yet. So being seen on his page is really important. So a lot of the growth on my level, I would say, right now where I'm at with kind of my platform is cross-pollinating audiences with other similar brands. It could be fitness models or photographers who shoot fitness guys.
So how does that kind of cross collaboration come into play? Do you shoot them over a direct message, or is it more from a corporation status? How does that really begin?
I'm pretty organic with it. I have a list of just buddies that I know in real life or that I've met on a shoot or a project for something. You know, it's saved on my phone. I have a list of maybe 20 guys that I know. We're all kind of doing the same thing. And the people following him, you know, he's got maybe an audience of 200,000. Not all 200,000 of those people are following me. So it just depends. I would say I do it very organically. I just shoot a message to somebody and say, hey, let's do a shout out or a trade. Those are decently effective. The most effective group collaborations are when you're there with somebody in person, like on a set or working on a project. But so a lot of it just happens organically if you're all invited out to do the same project. But there's different ways to do it.
Great. Just a couple more questions, Nick.
Yeah, sure.
Where did you get, or when did you have that kind of I can do this moment? Like, I know you were working in the petroleum industry and then moving over to the social media influencer. When did that I can do this moment really hit you?
Really great question. When I won my pro card bodybuilding, the next day I did a photo shoot on the beach with a very well-known fitness photographer, and he put my photos out there. And I gained maybe 10,000 followers overnight. And I woke up and there were so many messages say, you look amazing. Do you train people? What's your diet? You know, at the same time I was working on this. I had just recently signed I was in talks of signing this contract with BSN, and so all of these opportunities just kind of converged at one moment. And I opened up my personal training LLC, and the client roster was full in 3 days. And I was trying to work on clients before I went to work. I was trying to work on clients during lunch and working clients during, after I got home from work. And I was like, man, I'm making more money doing this, working on it 8 hours a week, with, full flexibility to apply my, to go wherever I want and apply my analytical, my problem solving skill set to my own passion. So I'd say within the span of a couple of weeks, it was like, oh my gosh, I either have to go all in on this or just accept that it's going to be a side hobby and a lot of, what could have been.
This question is coming from Jacob Tomasulo. He asks, have you had a time where you posted too much or found that you agreed to do too many promotions and it actually became hurtful?
Yes. That is a very fine balance that you have to navigate with social media promotion. And that's another great bullet I should have added to where I see brands go wrong. They don't consider how many things that you're promoting. Because really you are the product. As a personal brand page, you are the product. You are selling your influence. There's a massive following of people who are willing to listen to what you have to say. And you can diminish that effect very quickly if all of a sudden you turn into a walking billboard of ads, and every post that you have, you're talking about, oh, buy this product for me, buy this product for me. I can say that the agencies that I know of and people that I've worked with, you never really want to have more than 3 kind of legitimate brand deals that you're working on at the same time. And you certainly don't want them to be overlapping, right? You don't want to be promoting 2 clothing companies at the same time, for instance. So I would say I personally haven't run into a situation where I've been over promoting anything, but it definitely exists. And I'm always very mindful of spacing out my supplement promotions, which is kind of my normal day-to-day stuff.
So the last question is more personalized. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh,
yeah.
I tend to think big. I've got some big plans for my personal brands, particularly with model trainers. I'd like to, I want to hire about 5 more trainers to kind of work underneath me. And a lot of my efforts right now are still being pushed into the front end in terms of like building the brand and like doing a lot of the coaching at the same time. So I'd like that to be in a sustainable place where all of my efforts are just focused on skyrocketing the brand. So I'd say we're still very much in a startup mode. We're doing well, but in 5 years, I'd like that to be completely sustainable. And on the fitness modeling side, I'm still gunning for a real major campaign sponsorship. I want to do something with Nike or Peloton or like an Equinox gym promotion. So that would kind of be the ultimate for me. So
how do you kind of see yourself achieving that goal to go to the Nikes or the Pelotons? Are you going to have to kind of reach out to them, or they reach out to you? How does that work?
Yeah, great question. That's why I had signed on to kind of expand my team. So now I'm working with a publicist and a talent agency because one, I'm super busy. I work on a lot of other things other than just, taking photos and posting them on social media. So a lot of this outreach and brand curation, I need to take it to a whole nother level. So now I'm working with an agency that's going to help me, that already has those connections and that can insert you. And also to the comment of social media is really, it's your living portfolio. I'm trying to broaden my image a little bit in the sense of being a little bit more mainstream, or present myself as a little bit more ready to do like a Nike ad or campaign like that. So I've brought on a team, and I'm also trying to change my image ever so slightly to get there.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll go a very long way. So I want to thank the audience for their Q&As, great questions. And I would also like to thank Nick. Thank you for speaking with us at Susquehanna University. It was a pleasure to have you. I could see why they call you the nice guy in the gym. And everybody, thank you again and have a great night.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be on with you guys. I really enjoyed the opportunity. So it was a
Thank you.
fun time for me too.
Stay
Be
safe
safe,
out there,
everyone.
everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.